Hi, my name is Jenny, and I'm 27 years old. 3 years ago, I married Hugo, the most beautiful person I've ever met. He's kind, compassionate, and makes me feel amazing every day. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for his mother, Maria, my mother-in-law. For some reason, she's disliked me from the start. I understand she's protective of her son, but sometimes she takes it too far. Maria often does things that seem small and innocent, but are really meant to get on your nerves and make you look bad. I know we all know someone like that. Sadly, I have to deal with her because she's my mother-in-law. I was raised to call people out on their nonsense and not hold back. I think this is why Hugo fell in love with me, since he's quiet and soft-spoken. They say opposites attract, right? I studied psychology, so I can tell that Maria has bad intentions. Our strong personalities clash, and I remember the first thing she said to me when we met. "Jenny, don't you think it's time to stop eating so much?" she asked at a restaurant. The whole table went silent. I was mortified. Hugo, who was my boyfriend then, his father, Kyle, and Maria were at the table. Kyle looked embarrassed, and Hugo was angry at his mom for saying that. "Really, Mom? That's such an awful thing to say. She can eat as much as she wants." Hugo said, "Oh, sweetie, I didn't mean any harm. I just wanted to look out for you. I've noticed you gained weight. Hugo showed me photos from when you were younger, and you looked so much better then. I'm just trying to give you some advice," Maria replied. I tried to stay calm because it was my first time meeting them, and I wanted to make a good impression for Hugo. So I smiled politely and thanked her for her advice. Situations like that happened more often as we got to know each other. I hoped the taunting would stop once she saw I was good for her son, but it only got worse. I got along well with Hugo's father, Kyle, who is the sweetest man on earth. I could see where Hugo got his kindness from. I also met Jack, Hugo's childhood friend, who was like a second son to Kyle and Maria. Even though Hugo's family and friends accepted me with open arms, Maria still had an issue with me. On our wedding day, she tried to make me look bad. She was acting like a bridezilla. "No, her hair is supposed to be in an updo like mine on my wedding day," she said. "I appreciate the help, Maria, but I want my hair to look like this," I replied. I don't think so. You look so ugly," she snapped. The bridal party gasped. Unfortunately, I was used to this kind of behavior from Maria, so I wasn't surprised. She quickly tried to cover up her mistake. "Oh no, darling, no. I just mean that you can look so much better than you do now. I see a lot of myself in Jenny. She's such a bright young woman. Even though I looked much better at her age, she's beautiful in her way." My father-in-law managed to get Maria to stop her harsh comments for the day, but the pain and bitterness I felt remained. It wasn't in my nature to stay silent and unresponsive, and I felt my firecracker energy draining away. I knew I had to put an end to this. Fast forward 3 years to where today's story takes place. We were all sitting at the dining table in Hugo's childhood home, where his parents still live, on a Sunday night. Maria had invited us over, including Jack, which meant she had something important to tell us. I had my suspicions about her sudden dinner plan, and they were soon confirmed. Maria gathered everyone's attention for an important announcement. She pulled out a paper and started reading. "Attention, everyone, I have an announcement to make. As you all know, my birthday's coming up, and I wanted to let you know what I've been planning for the special day. I've decided we're going to take a trip to Hawaii." She held up a confirmation of the trip. "That sounds fantastic." "That's amazing, Jenny. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii." "Oh my goodness, this is great news. I'm so excited. I don't even know what to say. Thanks so much, Ma." Oh, actually, you're not coming," Maria said. "Honey, what are you talking about? This wasn't part of the plan," Hugo asked, confused. "I made some last-minute arrangements and managed to cancel her ticket before they gave us extra charges," Maria explained. "So, my ticket was already bought, and you just went ahead and canceled it. Why does this woman hate me so much?" I wondered. "Mom, what are you talking about?" Hugo demanded. Jack and I were silent as harsh words were exchanged. Eventually, after some pushing, Maria finally admitted, Okay, fine. I'll tell you the reason why I thought it best that Jenny sits this family event out. As you all know, I'm getting older, and I want the remaining years of my life to be around the people I care most about. Unfortunately, Jenny just doesn't belong on that list. Wow, Mom, really? What is wrong with you? Hulu asked, shocked. Nothing is wrong with me. Don't you dare disrespect me. I'm just saying that Jenny can't be considered part of our family since she's not related by blood. Maria retorted. By that logic, then Jack shouldn't be able to go either, right? Since he isn't technically family, but we all know that's preposterous. He is part of the family, and ever since Hugo and Jenny got married, she is part of the family too. Kyle pointed out. Well, with Jack, it's different. He's our precious baby angel. He's always been here, but Jenny hasn't, so that's why I'm not comfortable with her coming on the trip. And it's my birthday, so I get to decide, Maria insisted. Come on, Jenny. We're leaving. Who said, standing up? No, I said firmly, commanding everyone's attention, including Maria, who had been trying to hide a smile. She quickly wiped it off her face. Maria, you made it clear since the beginning that you do not like me. Every day for the past 3 years, I have endured your insufferable behavior. You think we all don't see how you act? You think we don't notice that you're a narcissist? I confronted her. Little girl, you better watch the way you speak to me. You were in my house, Maria warned. Not for long. I'm just about to leave, actually, but not before I say this. I turned to my loving husband, who was looking at his mother with angry eyes. Bae, I love you with my whole heart, and I have tried to endure this for such a long time. But I see now that your mother will never accept me into this family, no matter how hard I try and no matter how many times I bite my tongue. She will always have a problem with me. You should go on this trip. You can't miss it. As crazy as your mother is, she's still your mother, and you love her and she loves you. So you have to go. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. I then turned to my mother-in-law, whose mouth was agape because of what I had just said. And as for you, unfortunately for you, I am in love with your son, and I am not going anywhere. You might think you can push me away, but I will always be here. Even when you go to Hawaii, you will always be thinking about me because, if I'm being honest, I think you're obsessed with me. How dare you? I should slap you right now. I'm not finished. You are obsessed with me. You're obsessed with tearing me down, and I cannot even imagine why when all I've done is show you kindness and patience, even when you didn't deserve it. But enough is enough. You don't want me to go to Hawaii with you. Fine. You don't think I'm part of the family. Fine, but I will always be here. As long as I breathe, I will always be here for Hugo, Kyle, and even Jack, but never for you. At that moment, I realized I had finally shut her up. She stood there with her mouth open, searching for something to say, but her mind wouldn't let her. Finally, I managed to keep her quiet. I said goodbye to the rest of the family, kissed my husband on the cheek, and began to walk out. Let me drive you home, at least. I can't let you take a cab. Who said? Please don't worry about me, babe. I love you and thank you so much for loving me, but I'll be fine. You have a trip to discuss. Okay, if you say you'll be fine, I'll believe you. Oh, don't forget your purse. Right, my purse. I left it in the kitchen. When I went to the kitchen to retrieve my purse, I noticed a piece of paper next to it in Maria's handwriting. I thought it might be a piece of paper detailing the trip's itinerary, and feeling slightly bitter about not going, I wanted to see how much fun I'd be missing out on. I grabbed it and began to read. Dearest Jack, you know that you have always been like a son to me, and you know that I love you dearly. Oh, so this is a letter to Jack. A bit strange, but I guess it's thoughtful. For some reason, my curiosity got the better of me, and I continued to read. The love and care you have shown me throughout the years will never be forgotten. I hate to admit it, but even when it comes to my son Hugo, I feel as though the love we once shared is no longer there. Wait, what? She loves Jack more than she loves Hugo. That simply can't be. I continued reading, and with each new line, I became more astonished. I couldn't believe what I was reading. There was a lot to unpack, and even though it wasn't my place to read that letter, I'm really glad I did. After reading the entire letter, I paced in the kitchen, wondering what to do. Then it hit me. All the people who needed to know about this letter's existence were sitting in the next room. If ever there was a time to act, it was now. I reread the letter one more time just to make sure I wasn't imagining things. It was exactly what I thought. I walked back into the dining room to meet 3 pairs of eyes looking back at me. Jenny, I am so sorry for what my wife is putting you through. Don't worry one bit. You will come with us to Hawaii as long as I'm around. Kyle, please don't worry about me. I'm more than fine because I have found some interesting news that I need to share with everyone, especially Hugo. Hugo and Jack perked up, and I saw a flash of worry on Hugo's face. Perhaps he thought this was too much for me to handle, and that I wanted to ask for a divorce. Often, when I complained about his mother, he'd agree with me and wonder how I managed to keep up with her nonsense for so long. I always told him it was because I loved him way too much to let him go, and that I'd go to hell and back for him. I noticed that Maria wasn't around, so I asked, "Where is Maria?" "She needs to be here for this too." "Oh, she went upstairs after you shouted at her? She said she had a mild headache and wanted to nurse it with a nap. She won't be down for a while. You know how she gets about her beauty sleep," Kyle said. I was all too familiar with Maria's awkward and unnecessary routines that often inconvenienced others. I sighed in irritation. This is really important. She has to be here. "It's okay, Jenny. You can tell us, and we'll inform her when she wakes up." I hesitated, considering the information I knew. I wanted to see the redness on her face from embarrassment. "I think you should just go ahead and tell us, sweetie. It's okay, and you know Hugo has anxiety. It would be bad to keep him waiting." That was true. Hugo's anxiety got really bad at times, and I could see him begin to fidget from the anticipation. "Okay, fine. I'll show you guys what I found when I was in the kitchen collecting my purse and getting ready to leave. I found something interesting that I think you all need to know about." I pulled out the paper I found and began to read. It reads, "Dearest Jack, you know that you have always been like a son to me, and you know that I love you dearly. The love and care you have shown for me throughout the years will never be forgotten. I hate to admit it, but even when it comes to my son Hugo, I feel as though the love we once shared is no longer there." What is she saying? What is this? I continued reading. "Hugo and I just don't see eye to eye like we used to, and honestly, I think it's because of Jenny. Ever since he married that girl, he no longer has time for me. He doesn't love me, and therefore, I don't think I love him. I love you, and you are my son. With that being said, I want to let you know that I am going to update my will so that you inherit all of my belongings and not Hugo. I know it might hurt him, but honestly, at this point, I don't care. It's that wretched Jenny girl. She's the one who has poisoned my love for him. I hope you receive this letter well. The reason why I didn't want to approach you about it in person is that, and it pains me to admit this, I couldn't risk seeing the rejection on your face. I know you love Hugo like he's your brother and most likely you won't approve. But I don't care. I am giving you everything, the money, the house, the cars, and even my small businesses. They're all yours, whether you like it or not. If you want to talk about this further, please call me, and we can discuss it. I look forward to hearing your response. I will love you forever and always, your second mom." I finally looked up from reading the letter and was met with a flurry of mixed emotions. Kyle looked like he was going to cry. Jack looked stunned. But Hugo looked like he was going to murder someone. I can't believe she said all those things. Is she being serious right now? So the reason why she's doing all of this is because of Jenny? She hates Jenny so much that she'd not include me in her will just to spite me and Jenny? She's officially lost her mind, you guys. I don't even know what to say. This has gone far enough. I've had it with this woman and her toxic behavior. What are we going to do? At that moment, I had an idea. 1 week went by, and it was time for the designated Hawaii trip. Maria woke up and found a letter from her husband on her bedside table. It read, "Good morning, gorgeous. We decided to let you get some more beauty rest. Don't worry, your bags have all been packed. Just find us at the airport." Maria got ready and headed to the airport, looking around frantically for the people she was meant to go on this birthday trip with. She tried calling them, but no one answered. She assumed they were already on the plane and couldn't answer her call. She rushed frantically and boarded her flight, hoping to meet them once they landed in Hawaii. She endured the 12-hour flight, and once she landed, she video called Kyle. "Hello? Kyle, where the hell are you guys? I woke up late and saw your note," which was a cute idea if I hadn't woken up so late. "I got to the airport and tried calling you guys, but none of you were responding. I just assumed you already boarded, but it doesn't matter now because we're in Hawaii. How amazing. Tell me where you are so we can meet up and let the festivities begin." "That won't be happening, Maria." "What do you mean? Tell me where you are." "I'm at home." "What?" "You heard me. I'm at home. We're all at home. Say hi, everyone." Kyle panned out his phone to show that everyone, himself, Jack, Hugo, and me, were all in his house, sitting at the same dining table where we all heard the tragic news a week before. "What do you mean? Why are you at home?" "You say, Maria. Jenny brought some interesting information to our attention a week ago, and ever since then, we decided that we'd much rather spend our time in boring old Florida with her than anywhere else with you." Maria gasped. "You think we wouldn't find out?" "Find out what, my baby?" "Oh, don't you baby me. You were really going to cut me out of the will, Mom?" I. "Who? How did you even find out about that?" "Oh, that wretched girl that you hate so much. Jenny found your stupid letter in the kitchen." "I don't know what you're talking about." Maria, lying right now, was only adding more nails to the coffin. "Jack, tell him." "You gotta believe me. I did nothing of the sort. We all read the letter, Maria. The gig is up. But I didn't do anything. Jenny is making everything up." "Oh, am I?" "You are so pathetic it actually makes me sick. We all know what you said and what you tried to do. Thank God I was nosy enough to read the whole thing." "Hugo, Kyle, please." "No, Maria. Enough is enough. You're done. You don't get to say anything else. You messed up big time. Your hatred has caused you to be blind. Now you have to suffer the consequences of being alone on your birthday because of what you've done. I hope you can use this time in Hawaii to reflect on your actions. But I'll be alone. It won't be fun. Maybe people would like to hang out with you more if you weren't such a raging witch. Have fun." With that, Kyle hung up the phone. We all let out a sigh of relief. I was the first person to start laughing. Eventually, Hugo joined in, and before we knew it, we were all bursting with laughter and cackling at the dining table, just laughing at how crazy the situation was. The look on her face once she realized the gate was up was hilarious. Her face turned pale, all the blood drained from her face, and I could tell that that was the first time in a long time that she felt embarrassed. Maria had to spend her vacation alone, often calling Kyle to see if he at least would come and join her because canceling the reservations she made would be expensive. But every time, he kept denying it. He said that when she came back, they were going to have to implement some ground rules that were to be followed if she still wanted to be married to him. Maria began to be very apologetic and frantic, a complete 180 from what she normally acted like, which was honestly surprising. Hugo also mentioned that if Maria still wanted to be in his life, she had to drastically change her attitude. Otherwise, he was ready to walk out of her life forever. Their relationship is still rocky. Hugo said that if Maria ever disrespected him again, even if it's the smallest snide remark, he would cut her off completely the same way she was planning on cutting him off. As for Jack, he thought it best to stop being so nice to Maria as it was clearly enabling her toxic behavior. So not only did Maria end up spending a miserable time in a beautiful place, but she'd also risked losing the three most important people in her life. She now has very rocky relationships with all of them, and she has to change to be better. As for me, I messaged her and told her that I needed time to see if I was going to forgive her for all of her injustices. She was apologizing and begging for me to talk some sense into the men in her life. I obviously refused, stating that this is the bed she made for herself, and now she has to lay in it. Even to this day, Maria is still trying to mend the very broken relationships that she caused. I just hope that she learned her lesson.